A very good morning. Thanks for joining us on yet another edition of Political Spectrum. It's live on Spectrum Television. I'm Raymond Ita, taking you through with the day's biggest political news, stories and events. Well, while preparations are in top gear for a seamless transition of power from President Buhari to President-elect Bola Tinubu come May 29, lots of rhetoric has been thrown around, especially as it concerns post-election litigations in the country, top of which is the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, who has stirred the waters by describing INEC's role in the just concluded elections as biased, while of course the main opposition party, the PDP, and its presidential candidate has also berated Tinubu's so-called long-life ambition of becoming president, claiming failed back in 1993. Well, some of this would dominate the roundup of the day's political news, stories and events. Before we go into more pressing matters, where we'll touch in Imo State, where 4 members of the House of Representatives defected from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressives Congress APC in the state, as we look forward to October's gubernatorial elections, where Governor Hope Uzodinma is hoping to be re-elected for yet another term. Well, the drama in Imo State pretty much characterized the build-up to the 2023 elections, even though we were not expecting governorship polls in the state alongside the other 28 that we had on March 18. We were talking to Basil John, a journalist based in Owerri, the Imo State capital, to talk us through all of this. We're starting off with a roundup of the day's biggest political updates. Don't go anywhere.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also allow you said to be the beneficiaries of the death of our brother.
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my lord.
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Welcome back and thanks for staying on. You're still watching Political Spectrum live on Spectrum Television. Let's begin with the day's roundup of the biggest political news, stories and events making the headlines. We begin with the All Progressives Bola Tinubu. Well, Atiku was set since 1993 when he began running for the presidency. He has done so without any controversy, unlike Tinubu, who is contending with alleged drugs and identity scandals. Now, his comments were in response to the 2025 presidential election. Now, the PDP flag bearer stated that he towers above Tinubu and there was no basis for comparison between the Joe, having occupied the vice presidential seat for 8 years. Adding that, unlike him, Tinubu is being dogged by many controversies such as his age, his state of origin, identity, educational qualification, among others. Now, he further argued that government in a drug-related court case and also holds the dual citizenship of Nigeria and Guinea, having voluntarily acquired the citizenship of the Republic of Guinea. Revelations throughout the course of the electioneering period. But the APC has frowned at this development and have criticized Atiku's comments, describing him as a perpetual loser. Well, from Atiku, we go to Peter Obi of the Labour Party, who has accused the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of being partial. But the Labour Party All Progressives Congress, APC, and now President-elect Bola Tinubu, in the case before the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, Obi faulted the electoral body for standing by Tinubu, as he put it. Well, he noted that both the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal had in the past cautioned INEC to place itself in a position of neutrality and also remain fair. Would trail Mr. Peter Obi's remarks that some have been coming in, by the way, across the country with most Nigerians, urging him to allow the court processes to determine, of course, who was the duly elected winner of the just inauguration as president on May 29. Tinubu and his Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima are expected to stay at the Defense House, where they will move into the presidential villa after swearing in. Well, the Defense House is the official residence reserved for Nigeria's president, to a reception by hundreds of his supporters and well-wishers across the country. Well, let's go to Enugu State now, where the police in Enugu have confirmed the murder of a governorship aspirant of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, during the last general elections, Mr. Don Sude. Well, Ude's lifeless body was recovered at the ninth of his killers. A man who spoke through the State Police Public Relations Officer, Daniel Ndukwe, ordered the homicide section of the state CID and tactical squads of the command to combine efforts and also conduct a full-scale, discreet investigation to unravel the circumstances of the murder. Well, the police commissioner urged his mandates to make do with, but will turn our sights to development in Imo State, where 4 members of the House of Representatives have defected from the People's Democratic Party to the APC. Promptly received by Governor Hope Uzodinma himself, who is seeking re-election as governor sometime this year.
One truth, Nite. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Every day, we bring you up-to-date information on topical issues affecting the common Nigerian, from issues on politics, education, health, lifestyle, and so much more. Join Janice Kobum and Uyai Anyekan every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Rise and Shine Daily, exclusive on Spectrum Television.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people, but there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
Good
Morning Nigeria.
Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
And now, this service will finally be recognized.
Come May 17th this year, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather at a hotel and suites 20th April and ends on 4th May 2023. Visit www.tnbawards.ng to vote now. They've served and they're still serving. It's time we say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, Bonn.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abuse. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal...
I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My Lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My Lord, the Matters Council is a leading...
Nigeria, legally speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
There's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
In decades, Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Every society is premised on the quality of relationships forged by its inhabitants. The health of these relationships determines how well people, relationships, organizations thrive and how long they stick together. Join Uyai Anyekan on Connect every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and on Sunday 2:30 to 3 p.m. on Channel 421 on StarTimes to catch all the conversations, interviews, real stories, and how to navigate relation television.
Spectrum Television. In a bit, we'll be crossing over to the nation's capital, Abuja, where President Muhammadu Buhari is currently inaugurating the regimental colors in preparation for the May 29 presidential inauguration. We'll give you feelers on that and possibly pictures as well. But before then, let's quickly cross over to Imo State and the capital, Owerri, where Basil John is on standby to talk to us about the first big concern of the day, and that's the news surrounding the defection of 4 members of the House of Representatives from the People's Democratic Party to the leading All Progressives Congress APC in Imo. How much does this mean to the PDP's ambition to reclaim the seat of power in Imo State? Better still, how well will this advance the re-election course of Governor Hope Uzodinma? Basil John Joseph's live and over the line. Good morning to you, Basil, and many thanks today for joining us.
Good morning, Raymond. It's nice to be here.
All right, so we're going to be very brief with this. Let's quickly start by asking what's the mood like in the camp of the APC after what appears to be a massive political coup by joining the All Progressives Congress in an election year. How well is this move being celebrated in the ranks of the APC?
It's a huge one, a very huge one, with particular reference to the fact that the elections are upon us. And just after the conclusion of the party primaries of the All Progressives Congress, the People's Democratic Party, and the Labour Party, amongst all parties in the state. So parties are beginning to expect action to calls for the November 11 elections. So on the part of the All Progressives Congress, it's very intense, very much intense. And the fact that the All Progressives Congress, they just had to switch camp to link up with or swear allegiance to Governor Hope Uzodinma. And, it further shows that possibly the governor is getting more popular by the day, and he is trying his possible best to use this popularity to his own advantage and exchange it or make it manifest in the November 11 polls. So possibly it's good omen, especially when these important stakeholders of the People's Democratic is actually possibly included. Hope to see how well this will make us into something good or interesting in the forthcoming polls.
Well, in the lead up to the 2023 elections, Imo State was already, making the headlines, even when we knew there would be no governorship. INEC offices in the states were attacked. There's also been lots of killings that have been linked to the politicking in the state. While it appears it's the APC who is celebrating this move, let's reverse the question now. How much of a loss is this to the PDP, who only recently had Senator Anyanwu emerge as their candidates in the lead up to the governorship election? Would you say it's a big miss for them, or can they just put their houses in order and move on in the hope of still having a favorable outing at the elections?
Kind of both. It's a big miss, and they need to put their houses in order right now, because I think prior to the primaries, most will emerge victorious or be the party's candidate in the forthcoming elections. But, the unlikely news we heard was him stepping down and, of course, saying he's not going to run no more. And that took everyone by surprise. And everyone was also, most looking forward to seeing who we are in it. But that smoke has been, really, really coming out, and it's really smoky. But then again, the fact that the whole noise was, hitting around Senator Anyanwu, and eventually he clinched the ticket. Some people, particularly in the camps of the APC, people who are sympathetic to, the Hope Uzodinma and administration or the Hope Uzodinma's political campaign, are of the opinion that, the PDP and the APC are of no match politically to the APC, with particular reference to the candidates each of these parties have actually brought in when we talk about the political know-how within the state. So, and the fact that this opinion is being held by some people, and it's further being expressed in most of the people, the political stakeholders in the PDP camp defecting to the APC, it shows that maybe there is something the PDP are not doing correctly to make sure that, they hold their houses in order. This is not in order, sure, that if people are defecting from your party to another party, you also should be receiving people from the other party. So this is one thing, and I really know, and I believe that the PDP, they've learned their lessons, that they're taking keen observation of this, and also look for a way to, as to political landscape in Imo. It shows that possibly, we thought that maybe the Labour Party were going to come out strong. PDP will always be speaking now, checking dynamics, the sitting up is claim the ticket, barring any.
How are Imolites, looking at all of the incidents engulfing the leading parties in this election? Apparently, it seems like it's the APC who has a very steady ship, with Governor Hope Uzodinma looking pretty much likely to be the man to beat at the polls, and the houses apparently seems to be in order, as opposed to the PDP, as the people of Imo State viewing all of this, knowing they could be having their own elections, not running concurrently like other parts of the country, which means a lot of attention from the rest of Nigerians and the rest of the world will be fixated on what happens in Imo State.
I think it's too early to decide. It's too early to decide. Well, you've already posited how, how interesting. I want to use the word. I'm pluralizing it because, reports have it that there were, different primaries held in different locations, in the state. And I just want to believe that this has nothing to do with what is happening at the national scenery of the Labour Party, and that they will fix up as soon as possible. The Labour Party in Imo State has actually been having some inter-party crisis of recently with regards to who the party, in regards to the party leadership, let's put it that way. But it looks things that happen, but it's getting a different twist right now. And I think why I said it's too early to decide is the fact that apart from what we see at party levels, they let these frontline candidates to begin campaigning. I think with regard, it's during this campaigning that we will get to see if minds of the people will either the APC, the PDP or the Labour Party or even any other party in that gap. But aside this, actually looking forward to seeing what each of these candidates have to offer. When they see what they have to offer, and this can only be brought to the fore during campaigning, during active campaigning. And so far, so good. The campaigning incumbent governor who has the power of incumbency and is always talking as a sitting governor. So all attention will be on him, the political parties and party candidates to start doing the talking and make sure that they give Imolites the options to choose. Because as it is right now, they're just quite indifferent about it, particularly after the disappointment of the February 25 and March 18 presidential and gubernatorial elections, respectively. So I want to give it time.
All right.
Let words.
Interesting thoughts indeed. Basil John, many thanks indeed for obliging us your time on Political Spectrum today.
Thank you.
All right, that was Basil John, journalist, joining us from Owerri, the Imo State capital, and putting us through the reports around the defection of 4 federal lawmakers from the House of Representatives who were initially members of the People's Democratic Party to the APC, where they were received and welcomed by Governor Hope Uzodinma, who has said the APC is a family, a large one at that would welcome them to their fold, and looking forward to them contributing their quota towards ensuring a success at the elections. Well, the 4 lawmakers have said they will turn over their structures to the APC to ensure a successful re-election bid of where there's a grandstanding ahead of the May 29 presidential inauguration, as President Muhammadu Buhari is currently inaugurating the nation's regimental colors in readiness for that event. When we come back from the short time off, I will bring you live feeds from what's happening at that event and put you up to speed with them as well. So stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying on to battle us for the newly established and operationalized units as well as retired units colors of the Nigerian Army. This is according to the information that was already issued a couple of days ago by the Army's Public Relations Officer, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu. Well, interestingly, the last time something of this nature happened was back in 2000. 2007, quite a long time ago. Well, it's happening again, and this is all in anticipation of the colorful events we're expecting to witness at the May 29 inauguration and handing over ceremony, where President Buhari is expected to transfer power to President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We'll be linking up with us.
The band was then led by the mass band commander of today's parade, Lieutenant Colonel Raphael Mbene, who was the officer commanding Gas Brigade Band at that time.
Mesdames et messieurs, toutes les pièces jouées pour le défilé d'aujourd'hui étaient la musique était alors dirigée par le commandant de la bande chorale du défilé d'aujourd'hui, le lieutenant-colonel Raphaël Mbene, qui était alors commandant de la bande de brigade des gardes.
The beautiful performance has concluded the display and has, of course, marched off the center stage. That's a round of applause to encourage the mass band.
Ouh là là, merci beaucoup la bande pour la présentation magnifique. On est vraiment impressionné par ce que vous faites. Bon courage.
Hand you over to Tony Daniel, who will be bringing us up to speed on the rest of.
It's been events unfolding here at the Eagle Square, talking about the 2023 Nigerian Army trooping and color presentation. The first segment of the parade is the trooping of the colors. Any moment from the trooping of the old colors. Trooping of the old colors gives the soldiers the opportunity to see these regimental symbols for the last time before they are retired. In all battles, they represent the unit's blood and prayers. What you are witnessing at the moment are the enzymes to the old colors, escort guards, the mass band, senior commission officers, and regimental sergeant majors marching to take the appropriate positions on correct ground preparatory to the commencement of the handing over of the old national and unit regimental colors.
En ce moment, cessez les insignes aux anciens drapeaux, les gardes d'escorte, la bande chorale, les sous-officiers supérieurs et les sergents-majors régimentaires marchant pour prendre leurs positions appropriées sur le terrain des parades préparation au début de la remise du vieux drapeau régimentaire national et des unités. C'est une activité magnifique, kaléidoscopique. Merci beaucoup.
Dressing the lines to give a better impression to our spectators before receiving the old national and unit regimental colors. they've just taken a new position. What you are witnessing now are the unit regimental sergeant majors stepping out to take their positions in front of the senior non-commissioned officers before receiving the old national colors first, and after we times right in front of them. It may interest you to know that this is the only parade in the Nigerian Army that the regimental sergeant majors are allowed to draw their swords on parade. Regimental sergeant majors' swords are rarely used on parade. It is also in military disciplines, ethics, and traditions, riding on the wealth of experience acquired over the years.
Mesdames et messieurs, ce que nous assistons, ce sont les unités des services.
Enzymes to the old national colors, returning their swords into the regimental sergeant majors who have just collected the old national colors from the senior non-commissioned officers marching forward this time to hand over the colors to the enzymes to the old national color. Sit back and enjoy the proceedings.
Il doit encore le drapeau récupéré auprès des sous-officiers supérieurs. Son 6 marches 5 au drapeau régimentaire de l'unité.
Essentially, let me quickly remind Nigerian Army, located in Zaria, which was established on the 1st day of August 1924 under the command of Major Housel, a British officer. Into this scabbard.
Mesdames et messieurs, pour le moment, le SMR ont remis les anciens drapeaux nationaux et se retirant pour recevoir les anciens drapeaux régimentaires. Généralement, chaque unité a une paire de drapeaux, à savoir drapeaux régimentaires nationaux et d'unité.
The Depot Nigerian Army being the mother of all Nigerian Army units and is entitled only a national column blazon with all battle honors. Won by its offspring, that is, all the battalions in the Nigerian Army. security officers in uniform are to salute. Thank you. You may please be seated. Your Excellencies, what we just witnessed is the ceremonial beating of the retreat. The essence of the ceremonial beating of the retreat is to bid farewell to the colors being retired today. May I also inform our esteemed guests that 53 colors have been retired today, having meritoriously served the nation. It may also interest you to know it's first of its kind in the history of the Commonwealth of Nations. About 53 unit colors will be retired and will be reissued with new national and regimental colors, while 28 units will be presented with initial issues of the national and regimental colors as a result of the extant Nigerian Army order of battle.
Mesdames et messieurs, il peut également vous intéresser de savoir qu'au total, 81 unités de l'armée nigériane recevront aujourd'hui de nouveaux drapeaux nationaux et régimentaires, environ avec l'émission initiale au drapeau national et régimentaire.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing now is the display of the colors. The essence of trooping is for the various guards on parade to see their old units, colors, for the last time and bid it farewell before returning it to the Nigerian Army Museum for safekeeping and preservation.
Vos Excellences ont bien leur tâche, tandis que les enceintes posant ces drapeaux et les gardes d'escorte défileront dans un temps long, signifiant le début de la parade et la retraite permanente des anciens drapeaux au musée de l'armée nigériane pour la garde et la préservation, après un service méritoire à la nation. Oh là là, ça c'est l'armée nigériane pour vous.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the old national and regimental colors alongside the escort guards, slow marching.
Mesdames et messieurs, l'essence de la parade est que les différents gardes en parade voient leurs anciens drapeaux d'unité pour la dernière fois et leur font leur adieu avant de les retirer au musée de l'armée nigériane pour les conserver et les préserver.
It's an event unfolding here at the Eagle Square, talking about the 2023 Nigerian Army trooping and color presentation here at Eagle Square. What you